10,900 and some odd pounds. Big old Montana 3670 rolling in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. We've had a couple of these recently, and it really is impressive to me. If you look at the age of this RV and how well she's held up structurally, I tell you, it's one of those things that makes me proud being a Montana dealer in the new RV market, because on paper, a lot of these different RVs really read like they're built the same, but there's something about Montanas. They just seem to hold up. One of the really standout features on this model, and really one of the reasons I would love to see some non-island fifth wheels make a little bit of a comeback when it comes to opposing slides, is the fact that, as you see, with the slides closed, you can completely navigate this RV. You need to get into the fridge, you need to pack it up, you need to do anything. This is fully travel and storage friendly, which island fifth wheels typically aren't. And I think really the recurring trend, the theme of this RV in this video, is that it's in great condition for the year. I'm not going to tell you that it's brand new. I'm not going to tell you it's like new. It's got a couple glitches and things as we go through it that you're going to see. But considering the fact that it's roughly a, what, 05 or something like that, you could do a lot worse. You could do a lot worse. This is overall in pretty decent shape. It's been used a great deal. They're just updating, upgrading. It's been well used, but well kept. I think it's gone through a couple of different owners who have done some different decorating and personalizing. Like, none of this furniture, I think. Maybe the table and chairs are factory original, but I think the chairs might have been reupholstered. You've got the classic full overhead storage here, which is something that most fifth wheels don't have nowadays. They have sacrificed that for bigger windows due to consumer demand. But I still think this one has plenty of window coverage, and you'll find every one of these windows does open for airflow. Speaking of airflow, we have both a residential ceiling fan as well as a rain-censored max air vent fan up top. It wouldn't surprise me if that had a max air vent fan at some point. I don't know if that's the original factory one, because I don't recall Montanas of this age having the rain sensor feature, but I could be wrong. I was not a Montana dealer back when this was, actually I was barely out of college when this was built. Crazy. So our table and chairs, like I said, I believe they are original, but the fabric, I believe, has been reupholstered and restuffed, which is very nice, actually. These chairs right here, you can see that they put some kind of little cloth slip cover over this and the rear sofa. When this RV would have been built, this right here where the chairs are positioned would have been a sofa, and on the back would have been a pair of recliners that you turned to close the slides. Previous owners swapped out the original sofa, and they moved some things around. They put an aftermarket replacement sofa in the rear wall here, and really made this very much like a modern fifth wheel layout with a rear wall sofa, which is nice because you don't have to wrestle those chairs. And you also obviously have the individual comfort of individual recliners over here, and those appear to be residential upgrade recliners, just with that cloth covering on top of them. We have day-night shades throughout. It looks like at some point one of the previous owners had removed the factory window treatments and must have put their own on, which have since moved on. And I don't believe this was the original factory wall banner, but it's there. it was put on. It could probably be removed. Trying to be fair, trying to represent things accurately. There's a couple, there's normal wear and tear signs, but this is like the only window shade that I've noticed that doesn't seem to want to go up and down. It looks like it just needs restrung. A couple of these look like they have been restrung over the years. Now over here, this is a really interesting thing how they've done this. It's an entertainment kitchen slide, which is very similar to what you see today. We've got our electric space heating fireplace below. This was made before giant flat screens dominated the big fifth wheel market, and there's just all kinds of storage around this thing. But that trend continues all the way up through. Instead of having that island, you instead have this, like, basically extended wall kitchen with just an amazing amount of cabinet space below. Great prep counter space. Now the microwave, you can see, is not there. The original factory microwave must have given up the ghost. My guess is they put some kind of residential replacement in at some point, which they may have kept with them. I don't have hard details on that. Neat little thing Montana's used to do here. Really, it was only about 7-8 years ago, they were still doing it. They have only recently transitioned away from it. A one-piece sink counter molded combo type job here, so it's completely seamless and there's nowhere for water to seep in and penetrate. So we've got all that lower cabinet storage, but you notice that we also have a great deal of upper cabinet space as well. You might need a 2 or 3 step stool to get there, but the fact is, you've got plenty of storage in this thing. Previous owners were very fair and open about what was good, what was not on the RV. They did mention that it did have a little cold crack right here on the floor. On an RV of this age, used in the Midwest where we've had some pretty wicked polar vortex cold winters the last couple of years, this doesn't surprise me, but you know, is it kind of a bummer? Sure, but it's also not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. And I can actually see where they had put some adhesive under the exposed skin to try to keep that pressed down so that when you're walking on it and stepping on it, you're not, you know, breaking off chunks and causing it to look absolutely terrible. Classic Keystone split bath laundry chute right there. Also a nice look at a lot of the aluminum skeleton that went into this thing. Now as we come up top, we have a walk-through combination bed bath master suite. This was really on the cusp of when these Montanas started to have more private bedrooms as opposed to a wide open split bed bath. We got a residential queen here. I haven't measured it. I think maybe you could shove a 70-inch wide king in there because I do see some extra space over here. I think it might be a little squished, but it could work. So I believe this would be RV king capable. Now right here what's neat is we have dual sliding privacy doors, so if you do want to totally hard close off the master bedroom, you can. But this walk-through design right here actually helps keep the RV a little bit shorter and lighter. This is a single air unit, but it is 50 amps, so if you want to upgrade to a second AC, you can. You'll find excellent personal closet and or dresser space up here in the bedroom as well. I think a lot of these classic RVs had more storage in the upper deck than a lot of the newer ones. That being said, newer RVs also have a much larger front closet space, so it might just be a situation of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Over here, like I said, technically this is called a split bath, although I think it's more of a private walk-through bathroom with that big shower and garden tub. We do have a conventional, I call it like closet style toilet arrangement over here. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Looks like, I can't tell. I think somebody they removed the, or repaired maybe some swinging doors up here. Either that or oh, I see what they did. They turned a shelf into a sliding door cabinet, so they actually had dedicated linen space up here. Sorry about that. It took me a minute to kind of piece together what that is, using the camp scene, you know, detective investigation skills. And most modern fifth wheels have the washer dryer prep right up on the nose of the RV in the bedroom. This one has it here in this extra closet in the bathroom area, but it's either combo capable, stackable capable, or frankly, just monster storage capable, which never seems to offend anybody either. The decals are a bit weathered in spots. Like I can see a little bit of cracking or peeling on a couple of them here and there. But again, overall she looks good, and the skin portion is clean. So, you know, having looked at a lot of RVs over the years, what I can tell you here, this thing was cleaned and conditioned with great regularity, but it was used. I wouldn't be surprised if it was full-timed in at one point. I don't have hard confirmation of that, but based on what I see, that kind of makes sense. At the very least, it was used a great deal, and it was outside most of its lifespan. As was that spare tire's rim at some point, because there's a fair amount of surface corrosion on the rim of the spare tire, but you know, that doesn't really affect the function of it at all. Nice pass-through here, lots of aluminum skeleton. This does have an enclosed insulated belly. This was the first year of Montana production. They were 0 degree rated, so that's a good thing to know. And I don't know if those were the original factory tires, or wheels rather, but the wheels look good, and the tires also look good. These are not old tires. These have been replaced. These have been updated. Once again, I believe that this thing has spent a lot of time on the road, but it has held up admirably. Like a lot of times, big fifth wheels like this, like if I look under here under the gooseneck, a big fifth wheel that weighs, you know, nearly 11,000 pounds, if it had been towed with a lot of frequency, you usually see a lot of stress marks right here, and I don't see any of that on this Montana. So again, I'm not necessarily calling it like a spring chicken or anything like that, but the fact is, overall, it has stood the test of time. It has held up. And again, really, not much has changed in Montana production today. So if you like what you see, if you like how this thing's holding up, remember, a new Montana is like this, just with a couple little improvements here and there. It does have a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back. Looks like that was added aftermarket. I don't know if it has the proper reinforcements for factory towing. I would probably want to defer to one of my techs for something like that to make sure. And I like the fact that we have just all of these campsite windows over here. So you can see your campsite. You're not looking at the neighbors, you know. Wherever you go, you're looking at your space, not theirs. And you'll notice how all the windows, again, do open for airflow to get you some excellent, excellent cross breezes. And again, being fair, yeah, it's seen some sunshine. But the fact is, if you look at the skin, you look at the structure, and in just a second we're going to look at the roof, it has been well maintained. And that is not an old awning fabric either. I just kind of keyed into the fact that that awning fabric has also been somewhat recently updated and replaced. So I think she's ready to go. She just needs a truck under it. Or frankly, if you don't have a truck and you just want this thing parked seasonally at a site, give our guys a call. We can just arrange to have it shipped out and dropped off somewhere for you. And I gotta tell you, for like a 05 or whatever this thing is, that's a pretty darn clean roof. And these seals, this has all been proactively upkept. You know, I don't see any spots where there had been historic leaks that were issues. You can see how all of the sealant's really in pretty good shape right now. I don't even really see any place that I think might need spot sealed. Now, if you look real close, you can see a couple spots, that little funky skin looking pattern there, where overall she's showing her age a little bit. But again, when you look at this thing through the lens of time, I think you could do a lot worse. It's an RV that has been used a lot, but it's also been maintained a lot. And I think that's the most important thing on something like this. So give us a call. This is a lot of big fifth wheel for the money. That's my impression of it. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. And as you can see, we've only got about 15 acres of other opportunities here for you.